don't forget to subscribe for more reviews. Please also like. Thank you.
Hello there everyone, Tom here again, and today we have something a little different. In the absence of very much as far as transformers coming out that I am interested in looking at, we have a garden house with a large deck that I'm going to be building. So this is going to be a build video. I may break this up into a couple of pieces because people have been asking questions about my build videos. How do you do this? How do you do that? And I don't remember because it's been so long since I've done it. This is interesting to me. I thought that I would actually take a look at it. It comes from youngmodeler.com, and it is just a garden house with a large deck. So, with lifted living room and front deck for a better view, this duplex garden house has the area of 20 py, whatever py is, as well as high ceilings and a gabled roof. So, yeah, I don't remember what I paid for this. I bought it on Amazon. It wasn't horribly expensive, but, you know, I thought, why not? Give it a look-see. What's the worst that can happen? I enjoy it. I build more. Comes in this nice plastic container here. Opens up like this. Really hope the instructions are not just in Japanese. One can hope. They are nice color instructions. I have to give them that for that. Okay, so basically I should be able to follow the directions here to get from point A to point B. Hopefully. It even shows where you have to glue things together, build stuff. Okay, yeah, I should be able to do this. I should be able to. Let's take us a look here at the pieces. Let's see. It comes with, well, it looks like we've lost a piece of translucent here that came off of this. I can only guess these are the windows that come with it. We get worst transforming instructions ever. This looks like the roof, so that should give us a general idea about what size we're looking at here. And of course my ruler has left me, so my hand's about 6 inches, so we're looking at probably, give or take, 7 inches long. We get some glue for wood adhesive. Okay, I don't know if I'll use this or if I'll use my Gorilla Glue. Part number 1. This is wood. So part number 2, part number 3, and part number 4. So I tell you what. Why don't I pause right here and I will try to get a better angle on this so we can build this thing together. Alright, so we're going to take a look at the first step. Actually, it's steps 1 through 4. And I'm going to be building one side of the wall. I'm going to need this piece right here, which comes off of this piece right here. I'm going to need some of the translucents. And I'm going to need some of the window pieces from right here. So if you'll bear with me just a minute, I will disconnect these from the pieces. Hopefully they're simple to do. If they're not, I'll let you know. And we'll see how it goes together. Alright, for step 1, we have our parts all removed. The first thing we have to do is insert the windows. So, I have this little bitty window right here that goes in here. Theoretically. Maybe it needs to go in on the other side. I don't know. No. It's being rather persnickety. There we go. Alright. That window is now inserted just like that. Next we take our next window. And in case you're curious, I have taken my X-Acto knife and trimmed all the edges so that we should not have issues getting it in here, theoretically. Alright. I'm trying to make them flush as much as I can. And it's literally just, I'm trying to get the bottom in just a tinch so that I can kind of squeeze it all in together and then just push it into place where it goes. These things are thin, thin, thin pieces. So I'm trying not to accidentally break anything. Alright, that's relatively close. I'll take the bottom of my knife there and level it out. I don't know if y'all could see that or not. I'll do that here in a minute. Alright, so that was step 1, we got all the pieces. Step 2, we have it looking like this. Step 3, we turn it over. Step 4, we insert the glass, again, which has been trimmed. It should theoretically just fit right in, which of course it's being persnickety. Get in there, you. I am trying my level best not to exert too much force on this. I really don't want it to break on me. But if I had to guess, I would say these windows are actually maybe just a little bit bigger than the hole here. And this is the way that it shows to install them. So, but now I do think they're a little bit big. See, there's a recessed area. The bottom goes in, but it doesn't really want to. And again, I'm being rather cautious, trying not to damage the piece, because, I mean, let's face it, if I break one of these, it's done. So here's what I'm going to end up doing, and I don't really care for that. I'm not going to push them in all the way, but I am going to glue them. So that's going to be my next step, is taking my just a little bit of my Gorilla Glue. I think I have wood glue. I do. I have plain old Gorilla wood glue. So let's see if it's any good anymore. I can't tell you how long it's been sitting on the shelf. But if it is any good, I would much rather put a little bead with my toothpick here than to try and, you know, just go too crazy with it. It feels like it's still good. Yeah, it's a little mushy. Alright. Let's see if I can get in here and get me a little wood glue, and I will just kind of, you know, just put me a little bit here, trying really hard not to get out of the, you know, onto the window itself. It's not going to take a whole lot. I'm just trying to, you know, get enough. The wood glue won't expand, so that's a good thing. And actually, the directions call for for us to glue it at this point anyway. So that should work out rather amicably. Yes. So again, all I'm doing, I could be doing this 100% wrong. Full disclosure, I'm just a guy that's got a model kit. I'm not super great with this type of stuff. But also, having said that, I'm not a virgin when it comes to this. I have actually done model kits before in the past. If you've watched my channel, then you've seen some of them. That is, if you watched that. But yeah, all right. So here's what I'm going to do. This is effectively all that's required for for steps 1 through 4. So this is completed. I'm going to get us, it's going to have to dry obviously. I'm going to get us together for the next step, which is to build the handrail for it, and we will go from there. Okay, so the second step requires this piece right here, this piece, and if I'm looking at it correctly, this piece. So I'm going to disconnect them from the thing here, and we'll assemble. Okay, so before I assemble this, the first thing I must do is apologize. It's not these two pieces, it's these two. I did not realize that until after I had already gotten started, so that's why I didn't just refilm that piece, that little bit of it. I do apologize. So this is relatively simple. I mean, it's going to form up exactly as you expect. This will go in here. Just be mindful and don't force it. You know, just kind of work it in there, just like that. Okay. This piece is going to come in and basically just do the same thing. You know, gently work it in. While trying not to exert too much pressure. And do the same thing on this side. You know, just kind of carefully and gently applying the least amount of pressure that you can, because you don't want to break these little bitty pieces. And the end result is this, which works just fine. That's great. Now we can go on to this actually is going to connect to this piece right here, but my glue's not quite dry yet. I don't guess it'd really hurt if I went ahead and connected it. You know, I'm messing with stuff before it's dry. I should not be doing that. I should not be doing that. I did it anyway. And it connects right like that, so you get that look. Alright, so I'm going to set this back, let it continue drying. Right there. And we're going to move on to part 7. So we are preparing to do step 8. And step 8 has multiple steps. First off, we're going to have some of these windows. 2 of the ones that have already fallen out will work appropriately here. Don't know if y'all can see those or not. This window and this window is going to have to come out. This is going to have to come out. And we are going to need, to do this properly, some of these, the window dividers out of this one. So I'm going to get all this out and take my picture of it, and then we'll take a look at it. So I've got all the parts laid out as they're displayed in step 8. And basically, I mean, you've seen me do this before, where I just put in the window filler here, and then I'm going to put the window in. So I'm probably at this point, because you've already seen this, I am going to just go ahead and do it, and I'll show you these when they're in, and then I'll go in with the windows. And here we are. These are in. So now I'm just going to see if the windows will fit better in this one than they do in the other one. And the quick answer is, doesn't look that way. Alright, so what that means is I'm just going to have to glue these as well, which I am not horribly surprised that I would have to. Actually, that one just went right in like it was nothing. But it's even so, it's still not right. So I'm going to end up having to glue these windows in. So this means that I'm probably going to have to wait a little bit. Yeah, there's no way. They're just not fitting. They just don't. I'm not entirely sure why they're not fitting properly. I trimmed them. I trimmed the little edges off of them. I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason, and I probably am that reason. I just don't know what I'm not doing right. And it doesn't help that the directions are, you know, in Japanese or Chinese or whatever language that is. So I'm going to run me a bead of glue around some of this like I did on the other one. You've already seen me do that. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll move on to building the chimney, which begins with number 11. So for step number 11, we're building the chimney. And it's going to consist of these pieces right here. Basically, I'm just going to take them off this piece of plywood paneling here, and I am going to lay them out, and then we just assemble them. So I've got all the pieces out, and it truly is just literally assembling the thing. So take you a piece here, take you a piece here, and just push them together like that. Same thing on this side. Just push them together. Don't exert a tremendous amount of force, just whatever you need to secure it, and it is a nice tight fit. And it's supposed to look like this. Now, we have this bit here, which it is apparently supposed to go on the top somehow, looking like this. And this is this piece. Comes in right here, like this, right? So again, my glue is not dry. I should not be doing this now, but guess what, I'm going to anyway. So if it all falls apart, you can point to this moment and say, yep, that's where he went wrong, right there. That part's in, that part's in, and this one is being persnickety. And I'm trying to be extremely careful because of the glue. But even with the glue, I have it all on there. And the final bit is this bit, which comes in the center here some way or another, and will work on the top, theoretically. Anyway, remembering that this is glued on, I'm trying not to break it. There we go. And that is how this looks, and that actually takes us all the way through step 15. So I'm going to set this back down again, let my glue finish drying, and we will jump through into building another wall, which is on 16, step 16. So for step 16, we need this piece right here, right? It's got the extended little bar down here. I kept getting it confused with this one, and that is not it. So make sure you get this piece, this one right here. We're going to need some of the window fillers right here, and we're going to need some more out of the translucents. So I will get all this together and we will assemble. Stages 16, 17, and 18 are exactly what we've seen before up to this point. We insert the grid here for the window, and then we will insert the window behind it. So there's nothing really surprising here, except for the fact that everything is going in so easily right now. You know, it hasn't been quite this simple getting stuff to these little bitty pieces to line up properly. And I have to give credit where the credit is due. Whoever manufactured this did an excellent job of ensuring the fact that these little bitty thin pieces don't just die on you when you try to put them in place. So I give full credit for that. So I am going to do what I have done previously, which is get these things as close to being inserted as I can, putting some more glue on them. And I swear that doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. Something is off somewhere. How did I get this shape? It's upside down. Man alive. No wonder it wasn't working right. I'm going to put these in place, and we'll come back, and at that point we will start on 19. So we are effectively doing the very same thing, just on a different wall for steps 19 through 21. We're going to use this piece that I told you the last time that we didn't need for that step. We're going to use it. We're going to have more translucents, and we're going to take various different pieces from here, like this one and this one. So, and I guess one of these. So yeah, I'll get them out and we'll assemble. So we have once again the same thing that we've done. This is which steps are these? 19, 20, and 21. We just get these in here, and they are. I was commenting on how easily the other ones went in there, and now this one's wanting to be persnickety and not go. But I was able to get that one in there. Let's see if this one is going to give me the same grief. Nope, that one went in relatively smoothly, and the last one here goes in just right here without any problem whatsoever. Now flip it over and we do the whole putting the glue on, because we know it's not going to stick otherwise thing here. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else we can do other than glue it in place. So that is what I will do, and that will when we come back we'll be working on step 22. Parts 22, 23, and 24 we continue to assemble and build. What we're doing now is part of the side. We're going to use this piece and this piece. We're going to pull the door here and this window, and we're going to use the last two pieces on the translucent. So yeah, I'll go ahead and pull them all apart and we'll take a look at them. So we've got these pieces out, and nothing new, nothing groundbreaking. I'm going to put this piece in here, hopefully, like this, so that we have that. The window is going to go on the back. I will glue that into place. Here we have the front door, which again, same thing, nothing exciting or surprising here. And this is going to glue into place as well. Let me Let me get this squared away, and that literally is, you know, steps 22, 23, and 24. So I will put these into place, and we can move on to step 25. Step 25 is incredibly simple. We take this little piece right here, and it's going to go into this piece right here. So it literally is that simple. Nothing overly surprising, nothing horribly challenging. It literally is that simple. So, in an effort, just so you can see what's going on here, if I haven't mentioned it before, I take a minute and I always try and get the majority of the edges, the rough edges, off of any piece that I pull off of a sprue or something else, just so that if there's anything that might prevent it from, you know, going cleanly into where it's supposed to, we don't have to stress about that. This piece literally just goes in here, and it's just a push in place, and that represents stage number 25. Stage 26 consists of us taking this piece off and this piece off, and just kind of setting them side by side. So for now, we are going to disassemble this. This piece right here is actually going to go on the very first thing that we did. So let's get these two pieces off and we'll go from there. So we took these two pieces off of the sprue, right? This piece we're going to set aside for right now. For stage 28, what we do is we take this piece right here and we basically attach it right here into these two slots. Being careful to remember the proper placement of it, which is this bit goes out according to the directions. So get it started, give it a little push, and get it put into place just like this. Now, the next stage is actually stage 29, and we take this piece right here that we just did a minute ago, and this piece is going to go onto this right here, like this. So it comes in and it just sandwiches together. You can see the pieces here, how they're going to connect. And literally just come in and at the bottom at the top, and just push them into place until they stay where they are supposed to. Now the next stage, let's see, where is it? That was stage 30. Stage 31, we bring in this piece that we have done, and it comes in and fits in just like this other piece. I have to be careful because my glue on this one's not quite dry yet. It comes in right here. It's got a connector here, here, and here. And this is going to be slightly problematic because we're moving. There we go. That's in, that's in. We're moving against the grain there, and it's not the easiest thing to do while you're trying to do it, especially not on camera. Alright, so the next thing we do is we bring in this piece right here, which is part 33, stage 33, and we're going to do basically the same thing here. We're bringing this in, it's going to connect, as you can see, just like this. So I'm going to start here with this piece that theoretically should go in without any trouble. It'll be that way. Oh, don't break, don't break. Nope, it's not worth breaking. Don't do that. Alright, so get that piece in. That piece goes in. And this piece should go in as well. Alright, so now we've got it all where it's supposed to be right there. That was part 34. Next we're going to bring in part 30 for 35. We're going to bring in this piece, and it's going to attach right over here. And just like the last time, I'm going to install these two on the side first, and hopefully the pieces here in the center will line up properly and not give me too much grief going in. There we go. Just like that. And now we have, that was stage 36. And this is what we have so far. Stage 37, we finally bring this piece in, and it looks like it's going to connect underneath here, through here. It has, if you look, it has these delineations here where they're supposed to line up here. So we will make that happen. Hopefully. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so at least I think that's what that should delineate. And it does appear that way. Alright. Inserting this was step 38. And let's see. Now we have step 39, which deals with this. And I tell you what, I'm looking at it trying to figure out exactly how this is going to go. Yeah, let's pause for a minute while I try and figure this bit out. Sorry for the cut. I had to take a little brief break, try to figure out how to make this thing work properly. This bit goes in right here, like this, with this pin going into this slot. So, try and get it started here. If I can get this pushed in properly, it ought to just go in without too much trouble, theoretically. That one's in, that one's in, and now we just connect these two here like that. And that works fairly well, actually. No problems. Now, that represented step 40. Step 41, we take this piece right here, which we have previously made, and we take this piece right here, which we have not yet removed. Okay. Taking that, after I trim off the excess here, to make it all nice and smooth. This is going to go together like this, okay, and it's going to fill in right here, like this, and then like this. Instruction 42 shows us putting this one in first with this peg right here into that hole. So I'm going to get it started here and then push it into place, just like that. Okay, now we have this bit, which is literally just going to come in and connect here and here and here using these pegs. So, try to get it in here. I think I'll do this one first, hopefully. There we go. Now I just need to connect them here, which actually was surprisingly simple. Now we have the outer frame of the building complete. That represents this completed step. We're up through 43. Now with step 44, we're going to start with some new stuff. We're going to work on the porch, the lower supports here for the porch, and eventually we're going to put on the roof. So yeah, let me get the next pieces out for 44. So we're going to be working through stages 44 through 49 right now. And you know, we got these two pieces off of this piece right here. It was this one and this one. Additionally, we also took the support posts that we're going to need right here. So basically what we do, we take this, right? Let me back out just a tinge. We take your house here, we take this, and this has a peg, right? You can see it. It's going to plug in right here, and this is going to plug in right here. So I'm going to do this one first, theoretically. Not sure why it doesn't want to go in, but alright, so then let's do this one first, so that it will give me hopefully a little something to push off of. Alright, that one's in place. Now, let's line this up, and there we go, just like that. Next, we bring in, according to the directions, we bring in this piece, and this should theoretically come in underneath here, and it should, I mean, I'm looking right at it. It connects here and here. You would think that, you know, maybe there's a reason why it didn't want to go in that time. It could be that I have it upside down. You think, Tom? Yes, like this. This will provide us with what we are trying to accomplish here. Sorry about that, folks, but you know, if you've watched my channel any, then you know that when I make a mistake, I try to show how I've corrected it, so that if other people make mistakes similar to mine, maybe they can correct theirs in the same way. Now, I will add, this is probably going to work better if we add those first, but the directions don't show that. So I'm going to simply try and do it the way the directions show, and not think I know better than the people that designed it. Because I have discovered in my life, most of the times I don't. So I'm going to just put that in place there. And I am going to adjust this and slip that in right there. There. And that is how that should look at this point. Lastly, we take our little pegs here, and this one should be relatively easy. It comes in, just kind of sits there like that. No problem. This one, bring it up, and yeah, I probably should have put these in first, but it'll be alright. There we go. There's those two. There's that one. And here's the one on the end. Just like this. Alright. Now, I'm probably, just because of the way that it's acting, I'm probably going to put a drop of glue on these at the very bottom, just to help keep them in place, because this one's, well, you can see it's not stable. So I'll probably do that. I probably won't do it right now, but I'll do it here in just a little bit. So we're getting ready to move into step 50. I will probably do 51, 50, 51, and 52 next. So for step 50, we just have to remove these two pieces here. They're literally going to sandwich together, and they're going to come and become the bottom porch, bottom steps for this. So yeah, let's do that now. So now we just need to take our part here, and this bit is just going to set in right here, just like this. Theoretically, get in there. There we go. And then this bit comes in and it will connect here and here, like this. And that makes your little steps for your door here. Very nice. So we're going to move into assembly of the main steps, which actually occur right over here. And I did add some glue. That's going to be step 53 and 4. And looking at it, looks like we're going to use this piece and this piece. Alright, so we're going to install this now. And it seems relatively simple. This bit comes up and is going to encapsulate this bit right there, like this, theoretically. I'm actually quite pleased with myself at the fact that I haven't broken this yet. Of course, I probably just jinxed myself, but you know what I mean. This bit comes in and will connect right like this, right here. So I'm gonna try and do this front part first if I can. Try and get that in there, and then, oh, okay, so that one went in first. There we go, like that. Okay. So I have glued this one. Looks like I'm going to have to glue this one too. So I'll go ahead and do that, and we'll move on to step like 55 or 56. So for steps 56 through 62, actually I guess, yeah, we'll stop at 62. We are basically building the steps here and the railing that goes around. So this is a railing piece right here. This is a railing, I think it's this one that we'll use, pretty sure. And here are the steps. Now in the next one we're going to be probably using this and this, but we'll get to that. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect these and assemble. We're going to put the stairs on now, and here's the railing for back here. So I'm going to set that aside. We need to be mindful of these stairs. They go on a particular way, and I will try my level best to show you here on camera exactly what they're needing. So I'm going to start here with this one, with the little bit here pointing this way. And the way this is supposed to go is this comes in and sets. That's not going to stay there. Okay, so I'm going to put just a little drop of glue here. I think the steps are going to need it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I have been before, but I believe this is going to need just a little tinge of glue. So I'm going to bring in a little bit of glue right here. I'm not trying to drown it. I'm just trying to get a little bit here on it, with the intention of basically just keeping everything stable once it dries. There. Tell you what, I'll And just a tinge here on the top one. And just a little bit, and maybe just a tinge here on the bottom. I can see those are the two that are probably going to get the most stress. So it just makes sense. Alright, so let's try this again. We're going to take our step here and set it into place. I'm going to take my little handy dandy pliers here and just make sure it's about where it belongs. There we go. Okay. Now, that actually worked fairly well. So I'm going to take my handy dandy pliers and do the next one. Okay. Trying hard not to squeeze with my handy dandy little needle nose pliers here, because I can easily see how it would mar this, and we don't want to mar the surface of it, we just want it to go in where it goes. And the last piece here is, y'all can't see this at all. Sorry, I'm focusing on what I'm doing and not paying attention to where the camera angle is. Alright. That one goes there. That one goes there. So you can see how all of them are in place now. Next, we need to do this little bit. It's going to come in and plug in right here. So let me see if I can kind of make that happen here for you, at least theoretically. Probably not to where you can actually see it plug in, but there's the end result. And the last thing we'll do on this stage is take this step and plug it in right here. The railing. And that represents that. Now, in step 63, we're basically just going to build the guardrail here, and let's see if I can find the pieces. Those are made basically with this piece right here, okay? This piece. And in step 65, we're going to be working on these, putting in the railings here. So I might go ahead and just knock all three of these out at the same time, and I think I will do that just to make sure we get it all done properly. Alright, so bear with me and I will knock these out. So we're going to be working on stages 63 all the way through 68, and after this the groundwork for everything is done. We'll be working on the roof next. So here's the parts. Let me zoom in here so y'all can see a little bit better. Alright, we're going to take this part right here, we're going to put it right here, just like that. Simple enough. The stair guardrail comes in, and I may end up putting a drop of glue on this, don't know yet, but for right now it just snaps in just like that. Coming around here, the next thing we do is we take our long piece here and just attach it. Which actually is remarkably easier said than done. This center one does not want to go for some reason. I have to be careful and not apply too much pressure, otherwise it will damage the railing. We really don't want that. We really don't. So the next thing we do, we bring this little bit here in. It's going to go right here towards the end. Just like that right there. And lastly, we bring in this piece, and it just sets in. I'll probably come back along and put a drop of glue in the bottom of all these just so that we can, you know, get it to where it looks better. But yeah, so far we're doing good. Doing good. So the next thing we're going to do is going to be working on the roof, and for that we're going to need, in stage 69, we're going to take off this bit right here and this bit right here. Additionally, as soon as we get those on, we're going to need these parts as well. And they're conveniently labeled so that we don't get them mixed up. So yeah, let me get these off. And these are the gables for these. So let me get these off and we'll go from there. So to begin, the directions show us taking this piece and putting it in right here. Okay. There are various different locking points, as you can see along here. It literally just comes in and theoretically should just kind of sit down on these points here. Which is easier for me to say than apparently to actually do. So there, I was able to get that one in. And this comes down, that comes down. Let's move this over a little bit, see if I can line it up better so that I can get these right here in. That one is started. That one doesn't want to start. Get in there. There we go. Alright, so yeah, I think I've got it. Alright, there we go, there's that. Yeah, okay, so that is one side of the roof finished. We do the same thing on this side, making sure there's room for the chimney here. He says, come on, don't get away, get in there. Alright. Now we can lock these pieces together. That one snapped into place. Yeah, I've got to glue those. Alright, that snips in, that comes up. This comes over. That fell off. Why did that fall off? Oh, that was a step. Daggone it. Alright, I'm going to have to put a little bit more glue on that. That's the roof on there. I'll tighten it up and we'll take a look at it. So that's about as tight as I'm going to be able to get it. Now, the directions are not exactly clear necessarily in what we do with these, which side goes where. Maybe it doesn't matter, who knows. But this bit here goes into this hole here, and it shows the lettering facing inward. So we are going to try and accomplish this. As you can obviously see, there are interlocking pieces that go on these pegs here. Is this a dormer window? I don't think it is, but I don't believe it's a dormer window. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you. And honestly, this thing is not really wanting to go on the way I expect. It should just, you know, come in and line up properly, and it's being quite persnickety about it. I believe I have that one on. Now, bringing this one in. Alright. Okay, I think that got it. I think it did. No, that is in no way good. Okay, so this one went in fine, but this one is not. Okay, so my goal here is to not break it. It's good to have goals. It's also good to have achievable goals. So, I am trying to work this in. Ah, there we go. Okay, now let's, there we go. Okay, so that one is now in place, and that is the way that should look. I'm going to do the same thing here on this side, and hopefully I will have slightly better results getting this in place. Hopefully. Okay, there was one, and wow, that one went in almost like it was made for it. Kind of funny how that works sometimes, isn't it? Now, that represents the entirety of basically the building itself. The next thing we're going to do is work with the roof here. And it looks like it just kind of comes apart in a couple of different pieces here, as you can see. Yeah, it just comes apart. I'll do a dry fit right now just to see. This is some type of sticker, I think. It shows it being the back coming off of it, so it is a relatively good conclusion. Yeah, so this just kind of sits on there like that. I'll get it off and we'll take a look at it. So we're going to start by putting this piece on here, and dry fit looks fine. Dry fit looks fine. So according to the directions here, we don't have to do anything other than peel the back off. Oh my. Alright. And try our best to line it up properly, which I think I've done a fairly decent job of it at this point. Okay. Now we have this little bit that needs to come in right here. So we're going to do the same thing. This is not a sticker. It feels more like vinyl. It's not, I don't think it is vinyl, but it sort of feels like it, if that makes sense. Alright. That's pretty close. Pretty good. Now, let's flip this over and do this side. Again, we're going to do a dry fit, just to make sure it works. Fits properly. Yeah. I'm not happy with the seam I have at the top, but I'm sure it'll be fine. If if I was doing a real home, if this was, you know, not a model of a home, then we would have cap shingles. Anybody that knows anything about roofing knows exactly what I'm talking about there. We would simply have a cap, and it would come over and it would prevent any type of leaks or anything else that would happen here. Yeah. You can see the seam. It's okay. It's fine. I know it's there. It's going to bug me the entirety of the time that I own this, but it's okay. I will be all right with it. I keep telling myself that until I eventually believe it. So, pardon me. We put that little piece there. Next, we're going to do the little squares here for it. They're going to come in just like that. Alright, so as promised, we're going to do these. And it's a very similar thing to what we literally just did. Peel it off and apply. Simple enough. Now let's do this other one here. Peel it off. And apply. Now, there's a little tricky part because you need these two corners to align properly. If you don't do it, you won't appreciate the end result that you get. So it won't look right. So make sure you take that second and make sure you line up your corners appropriately. That is way too far out. There we go. There's that. Come on now. There we go. Alright. We're almost done with this stage, folks. Almost. Now remembering that we're lining that up. That's fairly close. Alright. Now, we are almost done here. Almost. Do I have any more? I don't have any other things on this, so this is finished. Okay? So the last little things that we have to do deal with these pieces right here. And they are going to be pieces that go around here to be put in place. I can only imagine they're going to need to be glued. So let me get these out. We're looking at this point, we're looking at stages 82 through 87. And we're going to be putting these around there. I have to imagine it's going to require a tinge of glue. So I'm going to take these out, and this might be the last little things that we have to do to finish this build. So the last thing we do is we put these on. And we are going to need some glue. So I'm going to not drown it, but put enough on here so that it will go in properly. And I'm going to use my little pliers here to just set this in place without going too crazy with it. Now, the directions were extremely specific that we put these pieces on after we have done the roof. So I am not at all above, you know, doing things my own way. However, there are times when you really should just kind of follow the directions. I don't pretend to be an engineer. I have put on a few roofs in my day. Back in my younger days, it was nothing for me to squirrel on top of a roof and lay a few shingles. But having said that, I also tried to be understanding of what needed to be done here with them. And you all can't see, can you? Sorry about that. Let me back out just a tinge. So I have added a little bit of glue here, and now I'm going to just kind of, you know, lightly lay this in place. I'm not worried if there's a little bit of glue that's spilling over. That's fine. That's not going to hurt a thing. I'm going to add a little bit of glue here for this window. Yeah. Doesn't require a ton, but it does require some. Alright. Normally I would have added a little bit more than that, but I think this will be fine. There we go. Making sure it's in place. Yeah, there we go. That looks nice. Now we get to do the front here. And bear with me, I need a little bit more glue. As I'm doing this, I'm using up the glue, which is fine. That's what it's here for. I'll add a little bit right here at the peak. Add some coming on down. Like that. Just adding a bead of glue. Not trying to do anything horribly special. Again, just adding a bead of glue. We're going to take this and we're just going to drop it in place here, theoretically. There we go. Drop this down. Kind of smush it into place so it'll stay there. And there is that little bit. And the last little thing we have to do for this build is this one, which does not appear to be very happy to be done. It doesn't have to be happy. Happiness is not required for compliance. There we go. There we go. Okay. And lastly, a little piece right here goes in here. And just like that right there. Alright, and that completes this build. I'm going to let all my glue dry. I'll take some pictures, we'll do some measurements, and we'll do some quick final thoughts about this. So, final thoughts wise, I don't think my standard final thoughts litany is really going to apply to this. So let me just tell you my overall impression. I spent roughly about, I don't know, maybe 3 hours on this thing, which was perfectly fine. I have no issue with it whatsoever. And I can't seem to find my actual ruler. So I'm going to use this thing. It's measuring in at approximately 5 3/4 long by approximately 5 inches by, let's see, the top of the thing here is going to come in at about 4 inches. So yeah, this is a nice little thing. It took me, I'd say, a little better than 3 hours total build time to do. One thing I do not like is it's hollow on the inside. However, I guess you could always fill this and put furniture or something in it if you wanted to. Yeah. Give you a general idea about the scale. Eventually, my hope is that I'll be able to do like dioramas and things, and you know, this would meet the Legend scale fairly well. Yeah, this would meet the Legend scale very well, actually. This was an enjoyable build. It wasn't horribly difficult. I had the tools I needed, and I am definitely not an expert when it comes to these things. Criticisms, some of the parts were rather hard to put together. Not everything fits together the way I would have preferred, but all in all, I'm thinking primarily of the windows here, in the sticker here. However, having said that, there is nothing here that would make me tell you this is not a good purchase. Again, it's currently selling on Amazon for about $26. Yeah, this is fine. It does what it's supposed to do. It looks nice, and I'm pleased with it. So, if you want to kill a few hours of time, this is actually a great way to do it. Anyway, this is Tom. High recommend from me on this if you like this type of thing. Also, I have another kit somewhere. What did I do with that other kit? You ever notice that you can't ever find anything when you're looking for it? Okay, I do have a Batman build. If we would want to see that at some point, we can always do that. That wasn't the one I was looking for, though. I've got another architectural build somewhere. Sorry about the cut there. Had to try and find what I was looking for. So I have the Batman. I also have this, which might be kind of interesting if we're interested in this type of thing. And the other Batman that I have is the Batmobile here. So, I've got things that we can do if we determine that we want to. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me do any of these others, and we'll see what we can do. Anyway, again, strong recommend for me if you're wanting to do something like this. This is Tom. Thanks for watching. I'll see you at the next review.
Thank you for watching my Papa's channel. Please subscribe and like. Thank you.